because I was expecting a promotion in that year, and you'd be surprised I got that promotion. The concept of working mother is should actually be discussed as concept of working parent.
Hi, you guys, how are you all? Welcome to yet another episode of this podcast, Upfront and Personal. Here is your host, Ananya, all set to become upfront and personal with each and every one of you watching or listening, depending on the choice of your platform. I swear I'm not trying to do some mime here. This is a very special and sentimental episode for me, guys. Special because this topic is very, very close to my heart. It's almost aspirational for me. I have mentioned this several times in person and also on this podcast that I would love to have kids sometime in the future, in my 30s maybe. And I'm also someone who's very passionate and ambitious about her career. But there's this stigma and there's this narrative in the society that maybe you can do it both, but sometimes you have to compromise. Maybe you would not have a career, but you'll just do a job. Or maybe if you're too ambitious and you are just doing your career, then your kids would be spoiled brats. Well, I think women can do both and they can manage it very, very efficiently and beautifully. But coming from someone like me who has absolutely no real life experience in the area might sound a little bit far-fetched. So I have here someone who has done it all and who has raised two brilliant and beautiful children and has been doing that for past 1.5 decades. I have my beautiful older sister with me. She is my cousin. Yes, I am a single child. She's my cousin, but she has always been one of the strongest and most amazing role models that I've had growing up. While I was a student, I looked up to her as to what kind of student I want to be. And now I look up to her and I'm like, okay, this is the mom and this is the kind of woman I want to be. Let's just welcome her and let's just talk to her now. Hi Dee, how are you?
I'm cool. How about you? You look so nice.
Yeah, after a work day, that's how I look, tired. Anyways, so I'm super, super excited and thrilled to have you on this podcast. Like, I have been wanting to have you for since such a long time. And I think it is such an apt topic to have you on. So before we start, I mean, obviously I know you, but listeners and viewers also, because this is going on YouTube, can you like give a brief introduction of who you are and what you do and also of your family?
Sure, sure. So, so my first introduction is I'm your sister. Okay. Yeah. Although I'm like quite older than you, like around 15, 16 years. Yeah.
I think so.
I am an entrepreneur right now. Have been into corporate world and everything. A mother of two. My husband works with a PSC. So yeah. So this is what it is.
And tell us a little bit about your children as much as you're comfortable with. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, my older one, I have a son and a daughter. My older one is 13 now. He has just turned teen, and my daughter is 7.
Yeah.
And both are like really energetic kids. They are like quite handful and adorable. They are adorable.
I can
Yeah.
testify to that. Absolutely. So, okay. So this topic, you know what we are going to talk about here, and I said it in the intro also that what you have done and what the way you have balanced your individuality while being a mother is aspirational to me. You know, as someone who wants to do it maybe some years down the lane. Like I know that I want to have kids, but I know that I also am very very passionate and ambitious, like as a person, about my career and my dreams and stuff like that. But sometimes when I look at mothers, I feel like the entire nature and the phenomena of being a mother or motherhood is looked at something that is, you know, based and founded in sacrifice. And this almost makes me not want to do it. But when I look at you and so many other phenomenal mothers who are balancing it so perfectly, I feel like, no, maybe it is something that I can do. So I want to know from you that did you always know that you wanted kids and a family? And when you were my age or when you were not even married, did you also face these conundrums?
So first thing, you used a word motherhood, right? I always say that motherhood is a very, very overrated term. Yeah, you would be surprised that I'm saying this, but it's true. The term has been used by so many people, has been used by the entire society to kind of loading us with the expectations that they have, how they want us to see as mothers, not how we perceive us to be mothers to our kids, right? So first thing first, yeah, motherhood is a very, very overrated term, right? Relationship between mother and a child is 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 a relationship. Just treat it as a relationship, right? Why your responsibility towards it becomes more is because that child has come through you, right? So that child is looking up to you for everything, for its basic needs, for its education, for its future. You so this is one. Now about me, when I look at you and your entire generation, your friends who come to your podcast. By the way, I'm very regular with your at your podcast, and I know all of your friends now.
Yeah.
So when I look at you people, I find you people so mature to what I was back in that time, and I feel so proud about it, because you people are like now you people discuss all this thing. Back in that time, whenever it was mentioned that you have to get married, you have to have children, and I would snub, me, I was always that angry person, who will snub and say, yeah, what, I don't want to do shadi wadi and bacha bacha and all that stuff. But this is what happens organically, and you come to terms with this fact that after you have got married, you have settled, and at last, career doesn't end anywhere. The quest of achieving things, it never ends. You reach to a level, you'll always aspire to go to another level. You excel in one industry, you'll always aspire to move on to some other industry. This is what happens. So for me, it happened even after my marriage. It happened organically that we decided, okay, now it's the time. And what I always feel, and my advice to you, maybe, if I may, that always plan that, always come to the same page with your partner, because if one of you is not ready, it would be difficult, because the concept of working mother is should actually be discussed as concept of working parent, because in these days it is equally hard to be a working dad as well, because life is quite, because we have moved to a nuclear setup, and everyone has to share responsibilities. So yeah, you have to be on same page to move ahead and take this responsibility.
Right. What you mentioned was really poignant about your partner as well, and the way you explained it, it just made so many things clear. Like, you guys are not like mother and father. I mean, you are mother and father, but it's not like you are mother, so you're doing so much and this is the list that you have to take care of. You guys are coming together as individuals and parenting both your kids. So I want to understand how helpful has been your partner in this journey of you maintaining your individuality and also raising your kids.
Yeah. So as far as kids are concerned, it's a famous, I think, African proverb that it takes a village to raise a child. Yeah, it's a very, very true proverb. It's that now we do not have villages. We do not have entire community to help us with our. And if there are, when people around us, they are like ready to judge you on every step that you take. Yeah, especially when we are talking about working mothers. Now, working mothers, every mother is working, right? Every mother is working, whether she's at home or if she's going out. If she's at home, she would be always judged for how she's raising her kid. Even if she is home, she's not able to give time, and if she's going out, then it's like another extended discussion about that. Now, when as far as your partner is concerned, when you do not have so much support which is actually expected to raise a child, we are human, even mothers are human. We need sleep, we need we need to have time for ourselves to remain sane. Yeah, that sanity can only be there only if we have a support. Now that support can come from many directions. It can be maybe your mother stays with you, or your mother-in-law stays with you, or your, why I'm constantly talking in feminine, this thing, mother, not father, mother-in-law, not father-in-law, because this is the thread of our society, that support always comes from the lady of the house, right? uh, but still no one can give you the mental support that you need to raise that kid, because you have parented that kid with a person, right? You have spent those 9 months talking about that kid with that person, and you expect a lot from that person, not just coming and taking that kid on the lap, on his lap, and my duty is done. It's not like that. Yeah. You need him to not only take care of kid, but also take care of you. Not take care of you, taking care is a, I do not, because I always feel that I can take care of myself, but you should have that person be there to see you as the same person you were before the kid, right? There is a lot of things happening. There's a concept of postpartum depression, which is like really, that really exists. I have been through it. I've gone through it, and there's a lot of responsibilities. Your body takes a toll. You have you have been looking a certain way, and it completely changes after the kid. Yeah, your time manage, work life balance goes for a toss. Even if you're not working, you are constantly you know in a cycle where you are there with one person, one kid, who with whom you can't communicate, right? You cannot tell what you're feeling, that you are exhausted, or you, at times you want to shout, at times you want to really say that I'm tired, and I really want you to be somewhere else and not with me right now. No, it sounds like a crime, but it is a fact. It feels at times, or I want my music, I want peace, I just want my sleep. So here, if your partner is not understanding, you'll start having conflicts, and that conflicts would grow to a level that you'll have such a rift that you'll not be able to actually cross. So in my case, my partner has been like, again, when I say motherhood, motherhood should not be defined, it should not be attached to mothers. Motherhood is a feeling that can come to any person. My husband has more motherhood than me. Fact is that. Yeah. So as far as care is concerned, he has kind of taken care of my elder one like anything. I was in a really hectic job schedule. He was there when my kid was unwell. He was there. At times I wasn't there. I was traveling. He was there with the kid. So yeah, I've been very lucky in that term. Again, this is what is expected of out of anyone. I shouldn't say I'm lucky. This is the basic expectations. But yes, when I look around me and see how people have been behaving, and how at times he has been subjected to comments because of his affinity towards kids, and how he wants to spend every single second he has with his kids. People have been saying, why is he always at home, and then I say that,
Is home.
isn't it good? I mean, if he's spending time with his kid. So this is what happens. That way, yeah, I say that I've been lucky. Yes. What is important here is that one must not shy away from asking for help. Just because you have become a mother doesn't mean that you have to overburden yourself with everything.
You have
it
not got
it is a relation.
superhero powers.
Yes, and you need not. You also have to have a life, and just because you have become a mother doesn't mean that you have lost the entitlement of living a normal life where you can also smile, you can also rest, and just read your book in your leisure time. It's not like that. You have to ask for help. You have to arrange for help. You have to not shy away from taking an evening off from your entire family and just go out to a place you like the most, sit there, spend 2 hours on your own, or maybe spend time with your friends, yourself.
You know, what you said was very was something that really struck a chord with me, like about Jiju, that when he would spend time with his kids, people would be like, oh, but you are a man, or all those patriarchal
uh,
notions. But on the other side of the spectrum, this is something that I've been listening about and reading about. Were you, not because of your own, but because of societal notions of what a mother should look like, did you ever suffer from mom guilt? Like, for example, when you were traveling and you were away from kids, or you had a busy schedule and anything of that sort?
yes, a lot of times. So also, again, there are a lot of aspects to this as well. One is, yes, guilt happens because when you love someone, it's just not about the kid. When you love someone, if you are away from, like, when we are away from our parents, and if our parents are unwell, we always feel that, what are we doing here? When they need us, we are not there with them, right? Similarly with uh, kid is small at times. That kid falls ill and you are not in a position to take off, and you're managing it somehow. So it happens. Guilt happens. That is okay, but the guilt that is inflicted on you by others, you should not take it. I mean, you should really, really repel it. I remember once one of my neighbors, when I came back from office, it was like really late. I used to come really late, and next morning she is saying that, I told my kid, look how the ऐसे भी बच्चे पलते हैं. And I was like, what? ऐसे भी बच्चे पलते हैं मतलब क्या? And then she was telling her kid कि how lucky you are that your mother is there to take care of you and feed you and everything. And
Wow.
I was really surprised, and I I felt like crying. I wasn't angry with her. I felt like crying that, this is how people. And that when you are dealing with your first kid, when you are during that period, you are inexperienced. You don't know how to manage the expectation. You always want to do your best. You जब आप पहली बार स्कूल जाते हो ना, आप सबसे ज्यादा अच्छा परफॉर्म करना चाहते हो. Similarly, when you have become a new mother, you want to do the best. You want the best photo shoot for your kid. You want to do the best clothes. Completely idiot. You are inexperienced, and you take every advice to your. उसने बोला गाजर खिलाना है. Okay, I'll ensure that my kid eats gajar every day so that eyes पे impact सही पड़ता है. And
All
then
the books
you'll
and
just,
everything.
yeah, it's not books. You are not even following books. You are following people, because you want to be in their eyes a good mother, right? You have to understand that you can be a good mother if you have a good equation with your kid. Even if you are having that 1 hour with your kid, please use it wisely. Please be there for that kid. Put your phone aside. Put all frustration, anger of office, frustration, anger with your partner, whatever is happening around you, just insulate yourself, isolate yourself, be with the kid. So it is not the time what you have spent with the kid, it is the quality of time that you have spent with them. All one has to understand that, uh, in any relationship, you have to be there in that relationship when you are there in front of them. I mean, you cannot just, I cannot be here talking to you and my keeping my mind somewhere else. I have to lock my doors so that my kids cannot disturb me. So this is
Yeah.
being present in that
Right. Right.
moment is what is important. Yeah.
Another twist of mom guilt, which I have no word for, but sometimes I think about it. I read somewhere that there's a difference between having a job and having a career, or there's a difference between being really passionate about it or just doing it for a hobby. And sometimes, women after kids or after added familial responsibilities, they are expected to have very less of a career mindset or whatever. And sometimes women's careers actually suffer because of it. If they would have been a CEO, they would actually become like 5 levels less than that, because they are maybe passing out on promotions and stuff like that. Did you have another like spectrum of mom guilt? Did you ever think that your career is getting compromised because you chose to have a family?
Again, now I would talk in a generic perspective. Why? Because I had a very supportive partner. So I kind of, there was a setback in my career during my first kid, but I kind of overcame it because I had a very supportive husband, right? That point of time, I kind of was away from my mom's responsibility and was building my career. So, but in general perspective, what I have seen is that yes, there's a big dent that comes in any women's career because of because uh, because of this decision that she has taken to. This is something this is how our society works. We have not matured enough, right? Slowly things are changing. It's not that it's constant. Slowly things are changing. People are understanding now. Rise of women in the hierarchy also is making them compassionate about how you should have the policies in your offices. However, I still feel that so there were news that some CEO took only 15 days leave or 7 days leave after the child and came back to this, and it was like applauded like anything. And I felt that this is a really bad example that she has given to other mom. It's not right. Now, for any parent, it's very necessary, especially moms, because mom has to feed, and there are other responsibility that only a mom can take care of. One has to understand that there is a certain period of time that should be given to that person just because she has taken the step. In public sector and in government sector, things have changed. They have extended the maternity leave. They have ensured that the promotion policy is such that it wouldn't be considered as a non-work time. It would be actually considered as your work time and everything. But still our society has to mature like leaps and bounds to finally reach to a place where we can actually say that I can be a mother and still have a flourishing career without being without having that dent into my promotions and everything. Another thing is that even when a lady joins back after like scheduled 45 or 60-day leave, the mere statement that I have to go now because it's the office time has passed. I have to go home because my kid would be waiting, is considered as like a liability. You are a liability because you have a liability. Yeah. So this is something which is really unfortunate. Men, women, they have to, in the workplace, they have to create an environment like that. In fact, you and your generation, you people should take this as a responsibility to change the environment. It's not just policy, it's the general behavior of people working around you.
Thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a thinking that their thought process that you should not find faults. One very interesting thing, if it's at 6:30, if a guy says that I have to party today, I have to go and see the match, so I'm leaving, he would be considered fun, and look, he has a life and all that stuff. But if at 7 a lady says that I have to now go home, my kid would be home now, and I have to pick kid from daycare, behind her back, it would immediately be said, look, since she has been back from her maternity leave, she has become a liability. She has not been able to give her 100% to the work that she's assigned to. So at times we also have created, as women, we also have created such such benchmarks for us, just to prove that, we, even if we are mother, we can work late, we can go beyond we should not do that. We should consider that being a mother has not made us a superhuman. We should accept that we have some responsibilities, and towards, it's not just that kid, it's your family as well, right? Set your priorities correct. Whenever it's required, work at office, but when it's not required, just for the heck of it, just to prove that you are a working mother and a champion, and you can आज ही मैं CEO बन जाऊंगी, ये feeling नहीं होना चाहिए.
You
As a
know,
mother,
yeah,
you should have a you should have a balance.
yeah.
You will become CEO in your own sweet time, when the time would come. Yeah.
I read in this book, Lean In, which I would recommend everyone, even every working mom, and even a woman like me who is aspiring to be one at some point. Uh, she says that she's interviewing this person, Sheryl Sandberg, who is the COO of Facebook. She says that she was
Oh.
interviewing this woman, and she could sense that she was going to get married. She was going to get married soon. So she mentioned that much in the interview. And when she asked that, oh, do you want to have kids in the future, whatever, like she was asking, like she was having a woman to woman conversation in the interview. And she found the woman very, very hesitant to say that she wants to be a mother. She's not even married at that time, like she in some near future. Why? Because she thinks that, as you said, the term that you use, that she would be viewed as a liability in her workplace. And then she said that being a woman and being a mother, like I have been through all of these phases. I would really appreciate, and I would really want to encourage all the women in my workplace to talk more about their family life. Isn't it better that they are saying that their kid is sick or their kid has a test, so they're letting us know that they have a personal commitment? How is that personal commitment different from any other personal commitment that they might have? So yeah, what you said is completely, just reminded me of that book, whatever. But because I have only read these things, I can't talk from experience. So yeah. Okay, so I wanted to ask you something. So you have two kids, and your little one is just like, let's just face it, like straight up prodigy. She is like the thing that you said to me, that you look at our generation. When I look at her, I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you this smart? You are so little. But when you're having the second kid, so you mentioned when you were having your son, you were a first time mother, and there were a lot of dilemmas that you went through. Was it? I mean, being a mother can never be easy, but was it easier, or like were you in a better mental headspace when it comes to your career and your individuality?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. So
Yeah.
I have been through my first motherhood experience, and then those 6 years I have given to my work and given to my family and everything. And when I decided that, yes, now I want a second one, I was completely ready, thick skinned, aggressive, really demanding, and demanding in terms of at my workplace and at home as well. So and thick skinned is something that you have to be. If you now whatever I experienced during my uh, first one, I knew when to talk to whom in terms of career. Yeah, I was very clear from the day one, when I kind of divulge it to my boss, that I'm expecting, and I would be and what I'm planning is that my leaves would be from this date to this date and all that stuff. I also conveyed that this should not impact growing into next level, and because I was expecting a promotion at that in that year, and you'd be surprised I got that promotion, just because I was very clear in my what I conveyed. You have to ask your partner again, he when we have to take the step of domestic help, what I need, what kind of support I need from my family when I need my family, I was pretty experienced. So that way I could manage the second pregnancy period and post delivery also very well. I didn't have any postpartum after my second one, because I was in control. This is what I now, if I would have known all this before my first one, I wouldn't have suffered whatever I suffered.
I wanted to ask you, of course, like when you say that you always focused on spending quality time with your kids and also giving time to your career. I think one thing that just really pops into my mind is that you must have really great time management skills. Like whenever I see people doing two things together, I'm like, how do you manage your time? So if you have any time management tips for like moms or parents in general, if you can just impart some.
Yeah, so I wasn't that good with time management initially. I really used to fret a lot about cleanliness, fret a lot about how things are not in place and everything. And one day, my husband, he just made me sit and said, "Look, you have come home at 9, and then you have been shouting around saying toys are here and bed sheets are not changed and everything." He asked me, you have like 2 hours to your sleep, right? You only have 2 hours. You have already spent 1.5 hours frowning and being angry at me and the help I have. And did you spend even 5 minutes with your kid? And I was like, yeah, I did not spend the 2 hours I had. I had already wasted 80% of the time. So yes, it took me some time to understand what is really important. So I would always suggest that in the periphery, whatever is happening, just you may not have the cleanest of the house every day, but it's just a house, it'll get clean tomorrow, but the time that you have wasted today would not come tomorrow, right? So utilize your time, prioritize prioritize your work, even at your workplace. If there is something that can be done, that has to be done today, should be done today, but that the work that can be done tomorrow should be shifted to tomorrow and should not be prioritized today over your family time. So yes, you have to prioritize. Office is something that would be there tomorrow as well, but the time that you have wasted today, even if not with kid, even if not with your partner, just with you, maybe a visit to salon, maybe a visit to a friend, maybe just listening to your music, just going for a long drive, that is important. So have a life beyond your responsibilities. Have time for yourself. Set your priorities and be clear about what, at the end of the day, what you want. You want to spend time peacefully, or you really want everything around you spick and span and clean and yeah, that way.
Okay, last
Yeah.
question, which I am not even sure how to frame this, but let me just give it a try. How do you make you so okay? So like you told us about this story where this mom goes to her kid and be like, "ऐसे भी बच्चे पलते हैं." So basically, if when your kids see their friends being raised by homemakers and everything, how do you make sure that your kids respect you and your individuality?
Okay, so why I didn't mention this in earlier conversation, I don't know, but I always feel that women who have better time management skills, their kids also have better time management skills,
Right.
because kids always look up to you and see how you are acting. They would never pay heed to what you are saying. They'll always pay heed to how you are acting. So when they see you getting up early and ensuring that, now that I work from home, I still I have a schedule that during this time I would be available, during this time I would not be available, and because I would not be available, this time is for you to do a self study. You have these many chores to do. I make my kids do a lot of work, even housework. They have really their work goes by the clock, that by this time their homework should be done, by this time their maybe whatever creative activity they are in, they would do that creative activity. And after this time my parents would be with me, so I have to finish everything before that, because I cannot miss out on that time. We as a family, we work out together. Yeah, after since the corona started, we ensure that evening 1.5 hours all four of us work out together. So that is the time my
Everyone.
kids cherish. Yeah, she does like 40 push-ups a day. She's a
She is so,
she
I
wants to.
cannot even, like, I can't even talk about it. Oh my God. What is this kid?
At times my kids fret when I spend more time with them. They say that, Mama, why aren't you going out? Maybe we can watch TV for long. But then I feel that they have kind of understood that Mama has to work. I want to make them an individual who would, when they grow up, respect people who work,
Hmm, hmm.
respect the efforts that people put in for work. Yeah.
I'll tell you how you have just helped me even before this discussion by just being who you are. When I look at you, sometimes when I think about having kids and having a family in my maybe like 10 years or 8 years later, I'm like, am I doing injustice to this career that I have? Like, am I even allowed to think about these things? Because I was always, my father and my mother, they always made sure that I become this lawyer, I become this ambitious person. My parents don't even care if I get married or whatever. Like, they don't, these are not the
Mm.
conversations we are having. But my academics, my career, they're very serious about. And that's something that they have, basically translated into my mindset. So when I think about these traditional feminine rules, I feel like that maybe I'm doing injustice to what my main personality is. But sometimes I get really frustrated. I'm like, I don't have to compartmentalize what I am. I can maybe have both and maybe do justice to both. And maybe it's just not too hard. Maybe just the society has to just keep pace with us.
Yeah.
So
One
yeah,
has to stop thinking about society and
yeah,
just have your own. Yeah, stop judging yourself, stop judging others, and live your life to the fullest. Have a life, even if you're mother, have a life.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't stop being a person after being a mother. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here. We really, really loved having you and having your insight on this topic. And
Thank you so much for having me, because I guess you are the only podcast I hear regularly. And I follow a couple of podcasts, but the regularity that I have maintained with you, I have never been able to do that with anyone. And why I like your podcast is because
nepotism.
to have a perspective of your generation. I mean, it is helping me understand how my kids are going to grow up like that. I mean, if they have the maturity that you have, I would be very happy. Yeah, so
I think
thank you very much. And whosoever is watching, just subscribe.
yeah, it's so funny. I'm so new to YouTube that I never say like, share, and subscribe. I just never
Yeah.
ask. But please, please listen to her and please subscribe.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye. Thanks.
Bye bye.